Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we have a beer that is half German, half Welsh. The German side of things I've never tried anything from, but the Welsh brewery is one that you've seen me review from before. So for the German side we are going to go to Berlin, and we're doing my first ever review from BRLO, or BRLO. I'm not sure exactly how you should pronounce that one, but usually in Polish this L has a sort of W sound to it, so I'm pretty sure it's BRLO. But this is a collaboration beer that they did with Tiny Rebel, who are from Newport, just outside of Cardiff in Wales. It's called Hefe. It comes in at 6% ABV, and it is, as the Germans describe it, a Hopfenweizen. Basically a kind of hoppy wheat beer, this one. Sort of, I guess it might be quite similar to an American type wheat beer, but from what I remember the American wheat beers are a little bit less kind of heavy in the malt base compared to the German Weizens. But it should be a really interesting beer. Two good breweries involved in this one, so as always I hope it's a good beer, and I hope you guys enjoy my take on it. It's been a long time actually since I've reviewed anything involving Tiny Rebel, too long actually, so hopefully I can review a few more of their core beers in the fairly near future. But anyway, as is usual with my reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about both the breweries involved here. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery websites, the link to my other reviews that hopefully I can do in the future from BRLO. Very first time I'm trying one of their beers, like I said. There's the link to my other reviews from Tiny Rebel as well. Hopefully I can add more from them too, but there's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography-based tagging system, so you can go into the homepage and search for beer based on country, city, county, state, prefecture, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlists of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the German beers that I've reviewed for you, and one for the Welsh beers. This one will appear in both, and as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you show the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about BRLO first off then. So as I mentioned to you, these guys are based in Berlin, the capital city of Germany, and they were founded by three friends back in 2014. So this is Katharina, Christian and Michael, all of whom were together at university. So Katharina apparently discovered craft beer during her time in the US, while Christian was introduced to beer by his father, who really enjoyed going on different beer tours and things like this. And these two had actually worked both in the kind of digital marketing business before they got involved in the brewery. Michael, on the other hand, though, was interested in beer since he was very, very young. He had trained in brewing and malting by the age of 16, and then went on to study further at the VLB at the Technical University of Berlin. So a very, very highly trained brewer, if you like. But their brewery and restaurant is known as Brewhaus, if I'm pronouncing that correctly again, BRW House as you would spell it in English, and it's located right in the middle of Schönberg, Kreuzberg and Tiergarten in Berlin, very close to the Technology Museum actually. But there they have a 20 hectolitre Braucon system, so they are kind of one of the, I think they're probably one of the bigger craft operations at the moment in Germany. But apparently this building that they have is made from 38 old shipping containers as well that they've converted out and turned into a restaurant. If you look at the pictures on the website, it actually does look really nice. But their name, BRLO, apparently comes from the old Slavic word for Berlin, and that was, like I was saying to you, I'm pretty sure that it should be pronounced BRLO because of the little line across the L in Polish. That does give it a sort of woe sound, if I remember correctly. But I've heard very good things about these guys. Peter the Clueless Drinker has reviewed a number of these beers before, so as I say, check out the link to his channel in the description below, and I'm sure you can check out reviews from him. Hopefully I can review some of their own beers in the future at some point. But as I say, quite a highly regarded brewery, and one that you definitely want to check out if you find yourself in Berlin, or indeed in Germany, because you can get their beers all over the place now. But yeah, that's all you really need to know about them. As always, the brewery website and the Facebook page and stuff are in the description below, so do check them out. On to Tiny Rebel then, the Welsh side of the brewery, and I've reviewed these guys before actually. So Tiny Rebel Brewery was founded back in 2008 by Gaz and Brad, who used to homebrew in a garage, and they say that they became pretty good at this. So in 2010 the idea for the Tiny Rebel Brewery was born, and then their official launch came in February of 2012. And like I said to you, they're based in Newport, which is just to the east of Cardiff. But in 2013 they went on to do very well at the Great Welsh Beer Festival, and they won gold, silver and bronze with 3 of their beers in the Champion Beer of Wales competition as well. 4 months later they opened Cardiff's first ever craft beer bar, which was called the Urban Tap House, and in 2017 they moved into their new and current brewery, which can brew up to 5 million litres of beer per year, and they now export to various countries across the world. I think you can actually get their beers in Sweden from what I remember. I have seen them in Copenhagen as well, so I'm pretty sure Systembolaget have picked up a few of them as well. I don't know if Vino Monopoly up in Norway have some of them too, but I have seen them in different different craft beer shops in Germany as well. So I know they are starting to get out towards Europe. I'm not sure if they're exporting over to America or further afield to Australia and things like that, but I know my beer dealer over in Japan, he does actually get some of the Tiny Rebel things as well, so they are getting really quite well out there. It's probably fair to call Tiny Rebel the best known Welsh craft brewery these days. They do some really quite nice stuff. So I do want to review the Cooch for you at some point as well. That's their kind of main IPA that they've done, and I've just never ever got around to filming a review for it, so I will make sure I pick up a can of that in the fairly near future. But yeah, two very good breweries involved in this one, as always with Tiny Rebel. The link to my other reviews, the website and the Facebook page and stuff are in the description below. Tiny Rebel seem to be fairly kind of prolific now. They're doing a lot of collaborations and stuff like this, so if you are interested in Welsh craft beer, these guys are one that you want to have a taste of. But yeah, that's all you really need to know about the breweries. Let's get on to the actual tasting of this beer itself. So like I told you, this one is a 6% Hopfenweizen, as the Germans are calling it. I think that's a good way to describe it, actually. Basically, a hoppy Weizen beer. It says on the back here, BRLO and Tiny Rebel proudly present El Hefe, old world meets new. So our Hopfenweizen is a beautiful interplay of fruity yeast and tropical hop aromas. It is hopped to the hilt with 25 grams per litre of juicy, fruit-forward varieties, and this is a classic Weizen with a sort of New England swagger in this one. So it says in this one, so there's whole melon in there, a little bit of lemon drop, mandarina Bavaria, Citra, Equinaut hops in this one, and it says it's using wheat malt, and it doesn't say oats as well. I thought there would have been a little bit of oats in there, considering it's saying it's a New England type beer, this one. But yeah, really nicely presented, this one. You can see there, a nice looking beer, and you can see there is the bottle cap. So the artwork is more like Tiny Rebel. So you can see the Tiny Rebel sort of scabby bear in that one, and there you can see on the bottle cap that it has BRLO. But yeah, let's get it out and get on with the tasting then. Nice little bit of smoke on the opening, and we'll get it out and into the glass. Really, oh, you can smell some of those nice fruity notes coming out of this one already. A little bit of the lime from the Equinaut and the mango from the Citra is really kind of kicking in there. But yeah, so as you can see with this one, it's poured a nice bright golden orange colour. There's a solid about half a finger of a quite frothy head on this one. There's one or two big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass there, and quite a few little ones heading up towards the bottom of that head there. But you know, overall it looks pretty nice. If I put my fingers behind the glass there, you can see that it is pretty hazy, which to be honest is what you would expect from a Hefeweizen. In terms of the colour, I would say it's quite a bright orangey colour, this one, rather than a sort of yellowy note. But yeah, it looks really nice. So let's take a closer look at the aroma and just see how we get on. As I said, when you opened it up, there was a hell of a lot of nice juicy fruity character coming out of this one. Ooh, yeah, that does smell pretty nice actually. So with this one, definitely mangoes in there. Yeah, a lot of mango, I would say, from the Citra hop. You can pick up, there's a bit of orange, which will be the Mandarina Bavaria right enough as well. And on the back end, you know, you're getting melons, which that will be the whole melon, of course. You're getting a little bit of the, you're definitely getting a little bit of that kind of lychee note as well, from the, which will be from the Citra right enough. And there's also a bit of that lime quality, which will be, that'll be the Equinaut. It'll be the Equinaut that's kind of, that's giving you that. But yeah, it does smell really nice. I'm trying to remember what the other hop that it said was in this one. A lemon drop hop. That kind of makes sense, to be honest, yeah. But yeah, a good selection of hops in this one. I will say that about this beer. I wouldn't say, though, that there's too much in the way of a kind of lemony citrus from this one. It doesn't really have much of that. It's more the kind of other juicy fruits that are coming out of this. It's definitely a little bit of melon in there. As I say, melon. There is a little bit of a kind of strawberry note to this one as well. A slightly kind of candied strawberry, and that's another thing that comes out from the whole melon actually. And you can pick that up a little bit, but that mixes with these sort of lychee notes that you'll get from the Citra. There's maybe a little touch of gooseberry as well. It's basically a big fruit bowl, this beer. The malty qualities don't come out of it all that much. I mean, it's got a good grassy component to it. You can smell a little bit of a sort of white bready note to it, but in terms of wheatiness, it doesn't have that sort of typical big sort of banana bubblegummy sort of thing that you would expect of a German Weizen, to be honest. But then it's not supposed to be a kind of straight up German Weizen. but the fruity characters in this one are really nice. As I say, a bit of mango, definitely a bit of orange in there as well. Yeah, some lime too. There is definitely a little touch of lime in that, which will be the Equinox. But it's got a whole host of things going on. Melons, strawberries, lychee, gooseberries I think as well. There's a lot of stuff going on in this one, so just take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of the beer before you get stuck into it. Like I say though, you can pick out a little bit of the wheaty white bread, but it doesn't quite have that sort of big banana note that you would expect of the German Weizen. But when it's a Hopfenweizen, you do expect it to lean a little bit more towards the kind of juicy, fruity side of things anyway. But let's have a taste of this beer then. So this is the Hefe, a Hopfenweizen, a hoppy type wheat beer from BRLO in Berlin. My very first review from those guys, and Tiny Rebel from Newport, just outside of Cardiff in Wales. So let's get stuck into this one. Slàinte, skål, prost. Yeah. What I'll say to you, saying in the aroma, it didn't have much of that sort of German Weizen character to it, but as soon as you take this beer in, the middle of your palate is just blanketed with that. It does have that classic German Weizen base to it, and that suits it really well. It's got a lot of the nice hoppy qualities to it as well that you expect to the New World hops, but right away, your tongue, you just get a good bit of that old school German Weizen, if you like, and it's a cracking beer style. I think it's really one of the best Weizen beers I had actually was from Schneiderweiss, and it was my Nelson Sauvin. And this beer actually kind of reminds me of that a little bit. It's just a little bit more bitter, if you like, in terms of the hops. It's got a little bit more going on in it than that one. And the malt base feels a little bit heavier as well. And that Schneiderweiss one was really just quite nice and quite smooth. But yeah, with this one, you can feel that nice kind of wheaty, bready quality. That just blankets the middle of your palate there. That goes right across the middle of your tongue. It almost has a little touch of an oaty note to it as well, which is quite interesting. But you can definitely feel, I think there's a little bit of a sort of clovey spice to this one. You've got those big, doughy, bready, yeasty notes kind of coming out of this one, which is quite interesting. But yeah, nice little bit of clovey spice there in the after. I don't know if there's a little touch of biscuit or something in that to this one, but not too much in the way of that. It does have a little bit of a kind of creamy mouthfeel to it, but you're not getting the oaty flavours that you'd expect of a New England IPA right enough. I was expecting when they were saying it as a New England twist, it might have a little bit of oats in it just to, sort of give that little kind of creamy factor. But overall, the malt base is quite nice. I do like the fact that it has that traditional German character to it. But yeah, the hops, of course, is where this beer really starts to kind of get going. Back corners of the palate, you've got a little touch of earthiness there, and I think that's probably the Huell melon and the Mandarina Bavaria. I've always found that the German hops just have a little bit of this nice, smooth, earthy quality to them. But as you come further forward, you do start to get quite a spicy, floral aromatic note from this one, which is quite nice actually. I do like the fact that it's got a little bit of that spicy character. Then round the very front curve of the palate, it's just got a bit of that lighter, sort of grassy note. There is a bit of a lemony citrus around the front edge of the tongue there, but when you go behind the front curve of the palate, of course, that's where you get that little oily bubble where those juicy, fruity esters start to come out of the beer, and that's where this one really, I think, starts to come alive. But yeah, that's nice. It's a good beer, this. I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink this again. I'd love to try it on tap, actually. I've always thought that the Weizen beers, with that smoothness that you really need from this style, I've always preferred Weizens on tap to out of the bottle. Of course, though, to review them, you have to have them out of the bottle right enough. But I think this beer would be absolutely cracking on tap. But in terms of the fruity side of this beer then, you can feel there's a little touch of grapefruit just kind of underpinning this beer. That'll be from it will be from the Citra, that one, to be honest with you. On top of that though, you start to get the melons. There's a good bit of limey character in there. I think the Equinox is quite, the flavours from the Equinox in this one are quite strong. But as you go further towards the aftertaste of this one, you get a little bit of that orangey quality, which will be the Mandarina Bavaria as well. And then when you move further and further into the aftertaste, that's when you're starting to get a few more of the kind of complexities coming out. You can definitely pick up a little bit of that melon note from the Huell melon in there. you can definitely pick up a little bit of that. But yeah, I definitely think a little bit of grapefruit underpinning the beer, mangoes and lime at the start. For me, the limey flavour is actually quite strong in this one, but like I say, when you go further into the aftertaste, you start to get a little bit of that sort of lychee kind of gooseberry note there as well. You start to get the melon flavours too, which will be from the whole melon, like I was saying, and the oranges. It does have a little bit of that almost tangerine orange in there as well, which is quite interesting. But really, I think it's lime. It's the grapefruit and lime for me that are kind of lingering there in the flavour of this one. But it's a nice beer, that. I wouldn't hesitate to drink that again. I would love to try it on tap right enough and just see how that kind of smooths out the malt base. But it's a solid beer, this one. I'm not sure how you would kind of distinguish this from an American wheat beer. Pardon me. I'm not sure how you would distinguish it from that, other than the fact that it has that slightly bigger German malt base. So I do think that the German way of describing it, the Hopfenweizen, is pretty good actually. So it's basically, this one is a traditional German wheat beer, but with the American sort of IPA type hops, and it does work. It does work quite well actually. I'm not sure if maybe I think the lime flavour in this one, I'm not sure how well the Equinox kind of works in this style. There's nothing wrong with the Equinox hop, right enough, but I think, you know, maybe like Mosaic or something like that, giving you sort of orangey, or Simcoe or something like that, giving you a bit more of a kind of passion fruit, you know, might work a little bit better than the lime in this one, just in my opinion. But it's a nice beer, and like I say, I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink it again. You know, it's solid, and it kind of speaks well for both of the breweries involved here. I'm just not sure how that kind of limey flavour suits the Weizen, but you know, maybe having a few of these and getting used to it, that's sometimes you need to do that with different beer styles. But for me, a nice beer, and I wouldn't hesitate to drink it again. Like I say, I'd want to try it on tap. In terms of the mouthfeel then, yeah, I'd say mid-bodied. Carbonation is quite smooth on this one. The mouthfeel on this, it's a little bit wetter. I mean, normally you would expect a little bit of that German smoothness to this one, but this beer does feel a little bit more wet. There's a little touch of oily quality to it as well, which I think will be the hops kind of giving that out. But it's got a nice little bit of hoppy bitterness. Like I'm saying, into the aftertaste, a bit of that slightly spicy floral note kind of lingers there. And you've got a nice bit of juicy fruit. The grapefruit makes the fruit flavour a little bit darker, I would say, though, and probably the lime's doing that a little bit as well. And maybe it could be a lemon-limey flavour, actually, to be honest. I mean, if you've got the lemon drop sort of flavours in there as well, it could be the lemon that's kind of taking the lead in this beer a little bit. But there is quite a strong, I think there's a strong limey flavour to that one. But in terms of the malt base, I would say there's a decent balance between the kind of big smoothness that you expect and and a little bit of sweetness, but overall it's kind of a more smooth malt base than this, rather than a sweet one you get. But a nice little bit of spicy hoppy notes and some nice juicy fruit as well. But overall, a nice beer. I wouldn't hesitate to drink it again. I'm not sure about the limey notes in this one, as I say. Maybe that'll take a little bit of getting used to, but overall a really solid beer, and you wouldn't expect anything less from these breweries, to be honest. So have a go at it for yourself and just see what you think. But yeah, a nice enough beer, and I wouldn't hesitate to drink it again, like I say. So let's leave it at that. So until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite beers are, both from BRLO and Tiny Rebel. It's been cool to review my first beer from BRLO. Hopefully I can do more from them and from Tiny Rebel in the fairly near future. But thank you again for watching, and I will catch you guys very soon with more beer reviews. Do keep me up to date with any of the new interesting craft breweries opening up in Germany and Wales as well, actually, because yeah, half German, half Welsh beer this, but an interesting beer, this one. I'm glad I got to review it, and I hope you guys have enjoyed my take on it. So until the next time, it's Lange just now, and I will catch you guys very soon. The Hefe, a Hopfenweizen hoppy wheat beer from BRLO in Berlin and Tiny Rebel in Newport in Wales. Until the next time, it's Lange just now, and I'll catch you guys later. Prost.